Hello and welcome to English 202. My name is Tony Berman and I will be the instructor for this online course. I would like to take a few minutes now to introduce you to the course, and specifically I'd like to talk about the course interface, how we'll be using Canvas. I'd like to talk about the content, what we'll be doing. I'd like to address the schedule. We're going to be doing it all in 8 weeks, and I'd like to talk about the workload that you have for any given week. So let's get started and talk about the interface. Now, if you're watching this video, then you're already familiar with the interface we'll be using, given that you've already ended up on our home page. You have a page that looks like this. Of course, for you guys, there are no question marks. There's this video. Underneath this introduction, you have an overview of the week 1 materials, and then underneath that, I've given you the entire course schedule for the 8 weeks that we'll be working. Now, you can consider this page the landing pad. This is where you can start each week, and each week this page is updated so that I'm giving you an overview of the week that we're on. And so you can go from the landing pad to all of the work for a given week simply by clicking here where it says week 1 materials or week 2 or week 3, etc. When you click here, you'll be taken to a page that looks like this. And I have organized this page with all of the materials that you need to take a look at, all of the articles that you need to read, and all of the work that you need to do. In any given week, there are 2 due dates. Now for the first week, it's atypical. You'll be doing stuff for Tuesday and you'll be doing stuff for Thursday. Although usually you'll have stuff coming in on Mondays and stuff coming in on Thursdays. I'll talk more about that a little later. I'm explaining that now because if you take a look at how I've organized each week, you can see that I've organized it according to due date. So for week 1, I have all of the materials that you need to read for Tuesday, and I've given you all of the links. And then I have the assignments that you've got to do for Tuesday. I have all of the materials you need to take a look at for Thursday and the assignments for Thursday. And then I've given you a preview of what to expect for the following week. And so the entire course is designed by week. That is, you take a look at the home page, and each week the home page is updated, and then there's a link to all of the materials and all of the work that you'll be doing for that given week. I've tried to make it as straightforward as I possibly can. Now, let's move forward and let's actually talk about what this course is about. And to do that, I want to work from the syllabus. And you have a link to this syllabus in the week 1 materials. And before I talk about the course itself, I want to highlight something. You can see that on the syllabus I've given you my email address, aberman@miracosta.edu. And remember it's there because that's the easiest way to contact me. Shoot me a direct email and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Okay, now let's talk about the course content. What will we be doing? And I want to focus on this section of the syllabus. This course is a course in critical thinking and composition. And so we can talk about those 2 terms briefly. For us, composition really means writing. So it's a course in critical thinking and writing. And for us, critical thinking can be understood as persuasion. So really it's a course in writing and persuasion. That's what we'll be investigating over the next 8 weeks. And I've organized the course into 4 units. And so I want to briefly touch on those units. In the first unit, we're going to look at how op-eds persuade, opinion editorials, those sorts of articles that we see in newspapers, magazines, on online sites. And so we're going to investigate how op-eds persuade, and then you're going to craft your own op-ed. Finally, you're going to take a look at a classmate's op-ed, and you're going to write an analysis of that op-ed. So in this first unit, you'll have 2 major pieces of writing. You'll write an op-ed, and you'll write an analysis. Those will equate to roughly 4 pages of writing, 1,800 words, and so that's what we'll be doing over the first 2 weeks. I'll also mention that the op-ed is not an essay by any means. There's no MLA format, there's no kind of generic introduction, etc. So be prepared to write in a different way. The second unit that we do is rhetoric and discourse. And in this unit, you guys are going to examine a discourse or a language community. And you're going to write a report, about a 4.5, 5-page report on how language works in that given community. And so, again, it's not necessarily a generic essay, it's a report of sorts. The third unit is the research unit, and in this unit, you guys are going to be writing about a 5 to 6 page research paper, and it'll be unlike any research paper you've written in the past, given that it's upside down, meaning that there is no thesis to start, you actually arrive at the thesis. And so lots of students find it both challenging and rewarding. And then in the final project, you're writing about a 3 to 3.5 page reflection. And so again, I have this on the syllabus. You can see that these are the 4 major projects that we'll be doing, and that all of these projects have to do with how persuasion functions. So I hope that that gives you a little bit of an overview of what we'll be covering. Now, let's address what students are really interested in, and that's grades. And so again, I'm going to address the syllabus, and you can see here that the entire course is worth 100 points. That's it, 100 points. Those 4 major assignments that I talked about, those assignments add up to 75 points, and then you have 15 points for what I call writing journals, and you have a writing journal or a couple of writing journals that are due each week, and those are short responses to readings. And then we have the discussion boards, and the interesting thing about the discussion boards is that they equal 10 points overall, although I give you the opportunity to get more than 10 points on the discussion boards. So there's some extra credit built into the discussion boards, and I'll address that a little later as we get into our first discussion. So 100 points, 75 points for the major assignments, 15 points for those writing journals, and 10 points plus extra credit for the discussion boards. Again, I'm trying to make everything as clear-cut and straightforward as possible. Now, of course, we're doing all of this stuff in 8 weeks. And so I want to address the course schedule and what a typical week looks like. And to do that, let's go back to our landing pad, to our homepage, and take a look at this schedule. You can see that I've color-coded it. And so here are those 4 major projects, yellow, blue, green, and red, that we'll be doing throughout the course. And you can see how much time is devoted to each of those projects. Prepare yourself. This course has a lot of material, and so there's going to be some heavy lifting each week. At the same time, I've tried to organize it so that it's manageable. This is the first time that I've taught this course in 8 weeks, and so I've basically condensed the 16-week online course into this 8-week iteration. Maybe give yourself a little bit of time to peruse this schedule here. You may also want to give yourself a little bit of time to take a look at what happens each week. So if you look at something like the week 1 materials, take a look and you'll see that you have a writing journal due this week, there's a discussion board, and so you'll get a sense of how much work is really involved. Also, on the schedule here, you can see that I've tallied all the points for each week. So you've got 1 point for Tuesday with Writing Journal 1, then you've got 1 point for Thursday with Writing Journal 2, 1 point for the discussion board, and I've tallied all of those points all the way through the entire course. So again, I hope that this clarifies exactly how the course operates. I also want to briefly mention what I mean by weeks here, and specifically, in a typical week, you guys are going to be handing in materials on Monday and on Thursday at 10 a.m. And so let me address that. What happens is that the course actually begins on a Thursday. And so I'll send out an email to you guys on a Thursday evening, and it says the next week's materials have been opened. So you can take a look at the next week's materials, and you have Friday, and then maybe Saturday, Sunday, to get the work done for the following Monday. And then you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to get the work done for Thursday. And so It may take a little getting used to for the first week or so, but we do have a schedule that's in place. You have 2 due dates for each week, and everything is organized on Canvas. I hope that this gives you a good introduction to the course. Now start clicking around, and if you have any questions, feel free to send me an email. Good luck, and I look forward to what happens over the next 8 weeks. Take care.